The champagne glass shook in my grip, though nobody seemed to notice. They assumed it was nerves, age, or emotion. It wasn't. It was fury disguised in crystal. 50,000, her fiance murmured, lips grazing my ear like he was sharing an intimate secret. Pay it, or disappear from her life forever. My daughter, my only child, leaned in close, her veil tugged gently by the sea breeze. Or enjoy old age alone in a nursing home, she added, voice sweet but laced with venom. My throat burned. I swallowed champagne to mask the fire behind my eyes. Then I smiled, measured, controlled, the kind of smile predators mistake for surrender. I leaned in, whispering, "You forgot one thing." Their faces blanched before they even understood. Moments later, the storm began. I raised her with everything I had. After her mother died, she was all I lived for. I worked long shifts, patched her shoes with glue, skipped meals so she wouldn't have to. She once told me she'd only marry a man who treated me like family. She swore it on her mother's grave. Then he arrived. Smooth, polished, a seller of dreams. I wanted to trust him. She wanted to love him. When doubts crept in, I stayed silent. Love, I reminded myself, was hers to choose. But love cannot hide the stench of deception. I noticed first in the way she held her phone, screen turned down. Laughter replaced with curt replies. He sat too close, fingers gripping her wrist a second too long, disguised as affection but reeking of control. My daughter, once open as the sea, began to close off like a tide pulling away from shore. Then came the proof, a message left open on his laptop while he fetched wine. Her father's savings. That's the real prize. She'll soften him up. Don't worry, we'll drain him dry. The pain didn't strike like thunder. It slid in quietly, a knife between ribs. The betrayal wasn't hers alone. It was his rot, infecting her, turning her against the man who built her world. I didn't confront them. I didn't shout. I closed the laptop, poured myself another drink, and listened to the ocean outside my window. Anger taught me patience. The next morning, I started to plan. First, the money. I emptied shared accounts, liquidated what I could, moved it where no one could touch. Left just enough crumbs for appearances. Second, the law. I rewrote my will, airtight and unbreakable. Every cent bound to a trust with one clause. Betrayal cancels inheritance. A lawyer friend made sure the language was bulletproof. Third, surveillance. Quiet checks. Credit reports. Background searches. His debts piled high like leaning towers. A gambling habit hidden beneath charm. And best of all, evidence of forged signatures, small frauds that slipped through unnoticed, until now. Brick by brick, I built the case, smiling through dinners, raising glasses at their engagement, nodding at plans I knew would collapse. I became the silent architect of their downfall. The wedding day arrived. A perfect beach, white canopies swaying in the wind. Guests toasted, laughed, danced. I played my role, the proud father, glass in hand, blessing their union. That's when he leaned close with his smirk and made his demand. 50,000, or you're gone. And my daughter, my own flesh and blood, echoed it. My heart should have shattered. Instead, it steadied. The trap was ready. You forgot one thing, I whispered. The music stumbled. The officiant's microphone crackled. Phones lit up in the crowd. Confusion spread like fire. Because at that exact moment, a scheduled email went out, to every guest, his employer, the authorities, the tabloids starving for scandal. Attached were documents of his debts, his fraud, his secret messages to accomplices. Proof of coercion. Proof of their little scheme. One by one, heads turned. Murmurs grew. My daughter's veil rippled as if even the wind recoiled from her. He grabbed her wrist, too hard, too public. Cameras caught it. Gasps spread through the crowd. She pulled back, he cursed, loud, unfiltered, a word unfit for vows. His mask cracked wide open. Police, invited quietly by me, stood waiting at the edge of the beach. They stepped forward. His face strained. He shouted, denied, raged. Handcuffs snapped shut, the final punctuation to a story I had written months ago. And my daughter, she froze. Her eyes darted between me, him, the crowd. Betrayal curdled into shame. She reached for me, perhaps for help, perhaps for forgiveness. I didn't move. As they dragged him away, chaos churned. Guests whispered, cameras flashed. The bride shook beneath the weight of her choices. I stood still, champagne warm in my hand. I hadn't lifted a finger. Truth did all the dirty work. Later, when the tide erased the footprints from the sand, I walked alone. I thought of her mother, how she wanted her daughter to grow strong, not spoiled by greed. I thought of the promises I made to protect her, even from herself.